John Baker joins us on Sports Byline, catcher for the Florida Marlins. He's had his season cut short because of injury, but he was drafted by the Oakland Athletics in the fourth round of the amateur draft. He kind of stalled at the AAA level with the A's and then was traded to the Marlins in 2007. And, of course, he'll never forget his first major league hit. It was a solo home run off of Chan Ho Park of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And outside of maybe the Triple Crown or the MVP or the Cy Young Award, the most prestigious award that you can get in baseball that's off the playing field is the Roberto Clemente Award. And John, for his work with the Soldiers and also with Haiti Relief, is one of those that's being considered for that award. John, tell everybody a little bit more about the award and why you're being considered.
Well, I think everybody who's been a baseball fan, who has any knowledge of the game, knows the story about Roberto Clemente. And he's somebody that's especially close to our hearts in South Florida because of the proximity to the Clemente family. And basically the award recognizes one player each year who has gone above and beyond doing things, in the community, nationally, internationally, but putting a priority on what happens off the field. And I think sometimes it's a very important award, in my opinion, because sometimes in baseball we get so focused on what happens in between the lines. We're so worried about our batting average or our team's win-loss record, or pitchers can be worried about their ERA, that we lose the broader view of what really matters and what's important in life. And it's great to have, in my opinion, for me, it's incredibly humbling to be mentioned in the same sentences, the name Roberto Clemente. And if you do happen to win the award, and it's based solely on fan voting, if you happen to win the award, you are allotted $30,000 and an automobile from Chevy to give to the charity of your choice. And I've partnered with a few smaller charities, and I think that's what's important here is that, a lot of people know I had the opportunity to make a couple trips this year, one to the Middle East and Iraq and Kuwait to visit and say thank you to our troops there, and then the second one down to Haiti 6 months after the earthquake to visit the devastation and then spearhead a program to build 25 concrete homes and move some families out of some tough areas.
I might point out that, John, I believe you were the first baseball player, were you not, to go over and visit our troops in the Middle East?
Yeah, Chris Coughlin and I went together, and since OIF, no active Major League Baseball players had been to visit troops and to say thank you and to support them. And I always thought it was funny when I was told that. I thought it was really funny because I thought, we've got veterans, military veterans, in Cooperstown, and you think how closely, as the national pastime, baseball is our national pastime, and there's nothing more American, in my opinion, than our military in baseball. I think the San Diego Padres do the best job of supporting our military, and it was the least that we could do as current baseball players to go over there and say thank you, in my opinion.
Last time you were with us, we talked about that. I'll talk a little more about that a little later on here in this segment, but I want to go back to your visits to Haiti. If you had not had the injury, you wouldn't have had that opportunity during the course of the season. So when you went down there, what were your expectations about what you were going to see, and how was it similar to or different from what you thought?
Well, I think that when I went to Iraq and Kuwait, I really learned, first and foremost, that the most important thing you can donate a lot of the time is just merely your presence. People appreciate other people showing up and showing support, just like a sports team or a particular player appreciates when their home stadium is sold out and the fans show up and support the player. People appreciate support, and I learned that from the Iraq trip. So when I was called to go down to Haiti, it was something that I was at a low point in my injury. I thought I had a nagging elbow injury. It turns out, in hindsight, now that I tore the ulnar collateral ligament and required Tommy John surgery, but I thought I had a nagging elbow injury. The doctor prescribed 6 weeks of rest. I had to sit at home and watch my team while they were on the road and sit in the clubhouse or sit in the dugout while the team was home. It was very difficult, and I was feeling sorry for myself. So I get a phone call from the Community Foundation with the Marlins. They tell me they're going to try to do this program where they build concrete homes in Haiti. They'd really like to get a player involved. They got it cleared with the front office. I'm allowed to go down. And I said yes. And I'll tell you, I didn't really have any expectations. I think that I just like everybody, I'd seen what I'd seen on the news, but I figured, that's a foreign country that's far away. kind of an aloof belief, in my opinion, and it's unfortunate when I look back on it now because I have a little bit of self-loathing about my worldview prior to this trip. But I got down there and I really got to see firsthand what it's like to be in a difficult situation. You know, I really take for granted a lot of things in the United States: paved roads, sanitation, waste management. And when you go down to Haiti and you go to places where they don't have the basic things that we expect in the United States, like electricity, and you're very surprised and very humbled about your own situation. And you know, it really struck a chord with me when I met some kids. We got to go to a lot of places down there, a few orphanages, and then a few very just devastated areas. And you meet these kids. Some kids didn't even have pants, and all they want is a ball. We brought a bunch of soccer balls down because they play soccer. All they want is a ball, and you give them a ball, and they start playing. You see the smile on their face and the joy for what they have and how happy they are. And you realize that, you know, when I'm sitting in my apartment in Miami feeling sorry for myself, there's somebody out there with a smile on their face. It's in a much more difficult situation. And because I got to see those things, you know, I really hope that we can get some of the money from the that comes along with winning the award and help build those houses and help get some of those people out of the garbage areas that they were living in and into something substantial and something real.
Yeah, I know you said that the two things that struck you, or the two things that came out of that trip, was one, the smiles that you saw given all the devastation, not only that they went through, but they're still having to deal with. And the other was the fact that as low as you were, it made you kind of redirect your thinking as to, hey, wait a minute, I really don't have anything to feel bad about. I'm going to get better, and these people are going to have to continue to live with this.
Absolutely. I think anytime that I have a difficult day in rehab, and it's amazing the life lessons you learn from some of these places. You know, when I got to go to Kuwait and Iraq, I went in with an uncertainty. You know, I was worried about it could be dangerous, and I left feeling so proud of the people there and so happy with the relationships I made and so appreciative of being able to go to bed at night and not sleep in a bomb shelter. And there's people out there every day that do that, and you learn more to appreciate people. And then going down to Haiti, it just reinforced that in me, how lucky I am to be an American, and how much we have, how much excess we have here. And sometimes it just takes, you know, a $10 donation, or it just takes somebody showing up to help somebody else out to make a difference. And it's a very gratifying feeling when you can do that.
How can fans vote for you or vote in this contest?
Well, pretty easy. I'm directing people to go to, if you go to any of your team's baseball sites with MLB.com, I tell people if you go to www.marlins.com, the Florida Marlins website, there's a link to voting for the Roberto Clemente Award right there on the page. And it's a Major League Baseball affiliated and sponsored award with Chevy. You can do it through Chevy's website, and I'm sure you can find an easy link on MLB.com.
We got 2 minutes before we have to break here, John, but when you stop to think about the way people perceive professional athletes to be, I mean, I hear it on this national show about, oh, they make all this money. I don't think that you all get enough credit for what you give back to the community. Does that ever bother the pro athletes?
I don't think so. I think that the society that we live in, everything negative is always going to be sensationalized, and that's okay. I think everybody kind of understands that. You know, for the most part, what you see on TV about some of the disgusting things that athletes do, that happens, and that's true, and that's unfortunate. But just like any walk of life or any job, you're going to have people that want to do things one way and people that want to do things differently. And I do think you're right, though. I think there's a lot better people in sports than most people do think. It's just because when you flip on ESPN and you flip on CNN, the first thing you see is Braylon Edwards getting arrested for a DUI. That's the headline. That's the big news. It's never the other side. It's never the positive side. You know, that's the stuff that sells, and it's unfortunate.
Do you think that the media plays into the perception strongly as far as the way people see athletes?
Absolutely, and it's just because I don't necessarily know if it's the media or if it's the consumer, but it definitely it's a two-way street in that the media's job first and foremost is to sell their time and have people watch their television show and listen to their radio show. And a lot of times, what people want to see is They want to be able to say, "Oh, look at that athlete with all that money and the stupid thing that he did." That's the thing that people sometimes want to see, and it is unfortunate, but I think it is what it is. It's not bad, it's not good. It's just the way things work.
John Baker is with us on Sports Byline. Again, he is one of those that has been nominated for the very prestigious Roberto Clemente Award for his work of having gone down to Haiti for the Haiti relief and also with our soldiers over in the Middle East. And I urge everybody to go to Major League Baseball and check out the site there. You'll find where you can vote on this. And also, if you want to, you can go to the Florida Marlins site as well. I think if you've listened to me any period of time, you know how I feel about the athletes. I think sometimes that the fans do not give them a fair shake when it comes to what they do give back. When we come back on the other side, we're going to talk a little baseball with John Baker, catcher for the Florida Marlins. So hang around. We got a lot more coming your way on America's Sports Talk Show.